Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome to episode 5 of Chatting Up a Storm. I am joined by a very good friend of mine that goes by the name Supermanthony. Known him for quite a while. Really nice guy. One of the most positive individuals you'll meet on this platform. And also a certified weeb. Like, really big weeb. Like, ultimate level kind of weeb. But I appreciate you being here. And my friend, how are you doing? What's going on?
Doing great, thriving, just doing my certified weeb things, no big deal.
Yeah, it's just all weeb all the time, right?
I mean, usually, yeah, you pick some very interesting clips on there. And, I was talking to my friends about it last night, and they're like, oh, yeah, I saw that highlight clip of you. I'm like, they're expecting energy. I'm like, listen, if you give me a second opportunity to pick up an anime girl in a video game, you will get that energy every single time.
I'd never seen that clip before. That was really good. You
It
were
was
really into it.
It was a highlight of my life. And here's the thing too, the only reason it got to that point was because you have to have a progression system. It's like low key, like a oh god, my weebness is really coming out. It's like a mini dating sim in this action RPG type game where like you go through these missions and then you can like come back and then you're like Kirito and you're Asuna from Sword Art Online and you can try to like hold their hand. But if you do it too soon, they're like, oh God, what are you doing? I'm like, holy shit, what am I doing? And then like it took hours, and I mean hours, to get to that point, hitting all the right notes. And I felt like I won a championship that day. So yeah, that's some context to what went down that day.
I'm glad your standards are high. We're all very impressed.
Well, thank you very much. If not anything else, I'm very dedicated to what I do. So
Yes, you
here we
are. You are. How are things? How you doing?
Good. Living my best life, trying to just take it one day at a time. And more importantly, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I can turn my neck from left to right,
Oh,
unlike
dang.
somebody else here.
We getting personal today. Gotcha. Yeah, I was like, all right, I can totally like, make this work. If I have to like do this, then it's a little more noticeable. But my left side, it's great.
Good. So ask questions. You look that way. Well, this way.
Uh,
That way.
I can, yes. Just the answer is yes.
Yes. There you go. So don't look at the Patriots pillow. Perfect. That ends
I
up
just know
working
that
out. Ends up working out
it's
for me.
always there, it's always watching my back, so I don't have to look back.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I mean, Brady's down here now, so.
Listen, don't talk about my dad like that. But yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about tonight, and the first thing I wanted to dive into is actually your name, because I know it's probably very self-explanatory, but for those that might not know, why Supermanthony?
Well, I was raised on DC, if anything. So I'm a massive fan of DC. I do enjoy Marvel, but like I was raised on like Superman, Batman, Green, the whole Justice League. And Superman kind of resonated with me. And I was like, you know what? I like that. But this was actually a fun fact for like a lot of people. This was not my first Twitch name. My
Oh,
first ever Twitch name was just my first initial, my last name, and my old high school football number. So I was just AWOC44 because I was like, I don't know what to pick. And then that was literally me. And then like 6 months or so, everyone was like, you should have a better name for branding reasons. And I was like, yeah, that name was pretty low effort. I'm not gonna lie to you. So then I started brainstorming with my now like girlfriend. Long story. We took some time off in between everything, not to get all deep, but she was like throwing ideas with me. I was like, Superman Anthony. She was like, eh. She was like, Anthony Superman. I'm like, that's also lame. And then she was like, Superman Anthony. And I'm like, no, that's stupid. And then I sat on it and then I'm like, no, I like that. Superman Anthony is the name. Like, that's what it's going to be. And she's like, all right, shit, let's go. So that like was how it all transpired. And she never like lets me forget. She's like, I helped you make that name. And I'm like, no, you're right. Like
yes,
that
she did.
happened.
So all
So
credit goes
yeah.
to her for every piece of content you've ever put out.
Basically, yeah,
Yep.
but I can't tell her that though,
No,
because
we'll keep it
she'll.
between us and everybody that's going to be watching and listening
Okay,
for the
good,
foreseeable
perfect.
future. Yeah. Very nice. So I didn't even know that you play football. I had no idea.
Yeah, I was very much so into sports, and I still kind of am. I mean, obviously, hence my dad's old team pillow behind me. And yeah, I did a lot of track and field growing up. I did football, but I only did that like my senior year. I was kind of like on the fence about it. I was like, I want to give that a shot, and then I regretted not doing it more. But yeah, a lot of track, basketball, love the hoop life. Even after I graduated, I just kept up with it, and Just yeah, I love sports.
So your dad was influenced for sports, specifically the Patriots, or
Well, the issue was he was taller than I was, and you really can't have like a short quarterback. You
yeah.
got to throw it over the lineman and not hit him in the back of the head. So like options were a little
Ah,
limited.
yeah.
But I was a mean running back though. We take those.
There you go. So you're fast.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
You're okay. Good to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just several state appearances in track and field for hurdles, but
That's
we got
impressive.
we got the job done. We
There
got
you
the
go.
job done.
That's good stuff. So,
Eh,
so you said DC was really where you got started, but you like Marvel too. So do you have like,
yes,
so DC favorite wise, it's Superman.
absolutely, without a doubt, no question,
Okay.
100%.
So Henry Cavill, you're a fan of Henry Cavill.
Man, I almost asked him to adopt me for real, but like I can't have that many dads, Just
No,
at
no.
some point you gotta like chill. They're like, dude, what are you doing? But yeah, that was the man. So then he was doing The Witcher and stuff like that, and I was
Yep.
just like, oh, he'll come back. And then in interviews, he's like, I'm not done being Superman, and I'm like, you better not, or I'm taking kneecaps. And we'll see what happens with all that. But yeah, 100% Henry Cavill's the man.
And for Marvel, who's your favorite for Marvel? Spider-Man?
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, I was Spider-Man for the Halloween, which I wish I would have got a better costume, but yeah, Alyssa's mom was like, "Hey, here's a Spider-Man costume." And I'm like, "I'm wearing that." But here's the thing, I didn't try it on first. I just assumed it was going to work. So when it came time to put it on, I was like, "I have regrets. I should not have told people I was going to put this on." So yeah, it was a little tight. It was definitely a little tight, and but hot take, very, very hot take. Tom Holland, best Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm with
Period.
you there. Oh, without question.
Yeah.
I completely agree. He just
Okay,
fits
I'm
the role
glad
really
because I was
well.
prepared for a fight here. Oh, Jesus.
That's
Okay.
okay. We agree on this. Yeah. And I've been a friend of Henry Cavill for a while. I mean, if we ever, let's say we ever had Henry on the show, because,
Okay.
we can talk to him. We can make that work.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't even talk to him about Spider-Man. About Spider-Man. About Superman. I wouldn't even
I was
talk
like,
to him.
he's both?
I
That's
know.
why I like it so much.
I wouldn't even talk to him about Superman. It would be about his gaming and about
Mhm.
The Count of Monte Cristo, my favorite movie.
Oh my god, he
Yep.
like popped off on social media because he's putting a freaking PC together or something
Yep.
like that.
Oh, he's a
Yeah.
big World of Warcraft player. Huge World of Warcraft player. Did you,
I actually didn't know that. I did not know that he was. Wow, he's a clone.
and there's actually something else that's even better. He was on the Graham Norton show, one of the biggest influences for this show.
Okay.
And he was talking about the fact that he almost missed a very important call and the clip's out on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it, where he said that, yeah, I almost missed a very important call. I missed a call from Zack Snyder telling me I got Superman because I was playing World of Warcraft. And Graham Norton said to him, did you hear the phone? He's like, yeah. Did you completely ignore it on purpose? He's like, absolutely. Because that's when you know he's a real gamer, because he totally missed the call on purpose.
Man, I don't even know what would have happened had
Yeah.
he not been Superman. My whole life would be just different moving forward.
Of course.
Wow. And I mean, granted, he probably would have had a better time playing Final Fantasy 14, but we're not going to get into
Oh, well,
semantics
we're
here.
going to talk about that because that's an MMO I really don't know much about. And
Okay.
I know we're both MMO fans. I mean, I've kind of
Mhm.
sunk in so much time into New World. So much
And WoW.
time.
Yeah, you were a part of you were in that WoW life hard.
Yeah, for a few months too. Yeah. Yeah, those days are past me. New World is the new thing. So you don't have a preference between DC and Marvel. That's what we're saying. They're both kind of
I would give DC a little bit more than Marvel, but
okay.
like, at the end of the day, I'll watch whatever movie comes out. Marvel's pumping out too much stuff between the movies and then the TV shows, and I'm
Yep.
just like, they're all canon, and I'm like, how can they all be canon? I don't have time for this to all be canon. So
There isn't
yeah,
enough time. There isn't enough time.
pretty
I
much.
mean, I haven't seen
pretty
any of the
much.
new movies. I've watched the shows, not What If. I'm only like one episode in to What
Okay.
If, but yeah, they do push out a lot of. Well, Disney just likes pushing out a lot of content in general. They finally slowed up on the
Mhm.
Star Wars front, but so Superman, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You can only pick one.
100%.
Which one?
I mean, Superman all day.
Okay.
All day, every day.
Okay.
But like, I also resonate with Spider-Man too, which is a lot of the reason why I like him. Like,
Go on.
that's kind of the reason why I like Superman also is because yeah, Superman's cool, but like the powers aren't even my favorite part about Superman. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like my favorite part about Superman is Clark Kent. And I love who that person is. And then he has abilities to help save the day, but his core like values are what really drew me to him in the first place. And then for Spider-Man, he just doesn't shut up and says dumb things all the time and can't take anything seriously. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me in a spider costume. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Okay.
But you never told me you though. You one DC, one Marvel. What is it?
Ooh, Marvel for me, it's probably see Marvel's kind of tough because I was a big fan of Endgame and that entire. I mean, all of the Marvel movies were really good. Black Panther's probably one of my favorites of all time.
Wakanda forever.
But yeah. I mean that scene where he comes back into the picture at the end of Endgame. I just recycle that back and forth. It's just the chanting, everything is just really, really solid. It's between Iron Man and Thor for me, I think. And it's not because of a thunder thing. I don't know.
There's a correlation.
I mean,
okay.
sure, I guess maybe there might be, but I don't know. From a technical side of things, like more so like late Iron Man. Like when he starts to realize that he's doesn't have to be a stuck-up jackass, that kind of thing. That's the kind of Iron Man, like that area right there, where he says, I kind of want to work together, that kind of thing. But he's still going to use his brilliant mind. He has a family. We're getting really specific about it, but that's probably where. And DC-wise, it's got to be The Flash.
I think The Flash is busted, hands down.
I love The Flash show on Netflix. I watch it religiously. It's gotten very corny, but it's good.
Yeah, he just has to get faster every season. And I'm like, okay, he's already doing time travel. How much faster can he go?
Exactly.
We've reached it. Like, that's it. It's over.
But then the other thing about that show is every single, and if I'm assuming you watch the show. So,
yeah.
And for anybody else, every time, like every episode, he gets down in the dumps. You see him sitting, it gets all sad. And he's like, well, I just have to be better, blah, 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 blah. And it's not the end of the world. Then he gets all happy. He figures it out while he's sad, like at the end of being sad. Like the plot just gets recycled over and over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Basically Arrow, but with Speed Force.
Yeah. It's hard to watch at times, but I still love it.
No, I get that. I definitely get that. But interesting though. I did not know. I mean, again, Flash, he has abilities where he throws lightning bolts. I'm just saying there's a correlation.
There is. And I don't have any Flash memorabilia in here, and that's a problem. I just realized that.
Oh, we're going to have to fix that.
Or
then.
a display. That would be good. Yeah.
Yes. Also, I see the Persona 5 back there.
Yeah, that was for you, Mr. Weeb.
Yeah. Gosh, I appreciate that. It feels good. Absolutely feels good. Do you have a favorite character on Persona 5?
Makoto, without question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big Makoto fan.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I absolutely respect that.
More of the motorcycle thing, to be more specific. I used to ride. I still kind of do.
I don't know. She tries to be all edgy and everything. I mean,
she's a
cool.
badass.
I respect it. She's like,
Okay. So I'm saying that you have this a competition here. So who is it for you?
All right. Well, listen. All right. As the filthy casual I am a fan of the, for argument's sake, Kasumi. Obviously, the actual people who finished the DLC know who that is.
Yeah.
Who that really is. And but yeah, she just did it. I was like, that's awesome. That's dope. And she was made for me. The DLC was made. They called me and were like, yo, we're making this DLC. What do you think? And I'm like, yo, I check off all the boxes, ship it. And then that's what happened.
I didn't think developers and you could be wrong, but this is the first time for everything.
Oh yeah, you're playing World of Warcraft?
Not anymore. I don't play World of Warcraft anymore.
All right, yeah, I'm just saying because you're waiting for Final Fantasy 14. That's what it is.
Maybe if New World tanks, which it's had its issues.
Okay,
a few,
all right,
quite a bit.
Well, just know that if you ever make the switch, we're here with open arms because we're all inclusive.
Believe me, you're not the only one that has reached out to me about Final Fantasy 14.
Is that good?
Now, you and Gullible have reached out to me saying, if you ever need anything, let me know. We'll get you set up. I have the MMO mouse already. I mean, I've been set up for a while. I love MMOs.
Yeah, I just got an MMO mouse actually just like a day or two ago.
Oh, which one?
And it's as a Corsair one. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah,
but like, yeah, it's just
that's the one.
There's a lot happening on here, so I was not.
How have you gotten used? How long have you been using it?
Just like a day or two.
Oh,
and
God,
I played Apex with it, and I fat fingered everything that I hotkeyed on it.
Yeah,
and, it got bad.
It's an adjustment. Give it a few weeks. You will never want to change.
Really?
Yep. And now, granted, I have a Logitech mouse, the I forgot which one it was, but it's the special edition one. But for MMOs, I'll only use that mouse. It's so comfortable. It's so easy to use. It just becomes second nature after a while. I have everything set to that for New World and for WoW. Well, when I did play WoW.
Okay. Looking forward to Right now, it's just stressing me out, but I'm looking forward to getting over that learning curve.
Yeah, it'll stress you out, but eventually there's so much customization with it. Um,
Okay.
and I mean, just setting it up that when you open up the game, it automatically switches over to that profile, so that
Hmm.
when you want to use the desktop, you click out of it. You can
Right.
have all those things not set, but for other reasons. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's great.
Dope.
I'm glad you picked it up. That's would have been my recommendation, and it's my first Corsair product too. So
Oh, nice,
yeah, it's
nice.
good.
Hashtag sponsor. Corsair,
Yeah,
get a hold of
right.
this man.
Okay, that'll be
Just
the day.
saying.
That'll be the day. So since we're already kind of here,
Hmm.
MMOs.
Yes.
Oh, how long you been playing MMOs?
So I actually started my first ever like actual MMO was World of Warcraft. I had like this really, really old, like 2009 baby Windows computer that it was so bad. And I had no idea of like what RAM was. I had no idea what graphics cards even were. I was like, I have a computer. I can play MMOs now. And then I tried it. And I knew there was an issue because every time I walked into a main city, it just died. Like the whole, I was like, oh my God, bro, I can't move. I can't move. And then I walk back into the forest. I'm like, okay, we're good. We're good. I go back into the city. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, it's fine. The quest doesn't need to be done. It's okay. And yeah, so I started with that though. And I ended up getting better hardware for, the future to play the game. And it was a lot of fun. And I was a paladin and that was lovely.
Okay.
But then I put it down. I was like, okay, it was definitely a time sink. I put it down. I tried coming back to it. It was just okay. I think I played ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, the MMO over there. That was just okay. It was a time killer. And then I found Final Fantasy 14. There's a lot of gaps in between all of this. But I've now been playing 14 for about like 3+ years now.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, it was a crazy situation where like I picked it up and then just like at first I didn't want to do it because it's like a monthly subscription. I'm like, I'm not paying for this shit. Like, what do you mean? And then when I just made the plunge, or whatever, because you can make a free account up to level 60 and the first expansion of Heavensward absolutely free. But we're not gonna get into the semantics of it. But what I'm saying is, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll do a free account. When I got to level 60, I was like, just take my money. I don't even know why did I think this wasn't gonna happen? And having friends to play, joining guilds, do it. The story was absolutely it captivated me absolutely, and then I became part of the cult. So here we are.
Free up to level 60.
Yes, with the first expansion included
How
for
many? What's
free.
the level cap at right now?
It in a few weeks it's gonna be 90. Right now it's 80.
Okay. All right. All right. And you said the story's
Yeah.
good.
Story is amazing,
Why do you like
dude.
the
It's
story so much?
literally amazing. So, like, literally, like, okay, base game, like the actual base game. If you didn't know, the original Final Fantasy 14 was so bad it tanked, and it was just up in fire that they had to completely nuke the base game and start over anew, which is now why it's called A Realm Reborn. But even now, after all that shit, they even cut out like 20 to 30% of the main, like, BS quest where like, hey, can I get a carton of milk? And they're like, okay, fine, I'm the warrior of light, I'm trying to save the day, but I'll go get your milk first. They cut a lot of those missions out, and even then it's still a little dry. When you get to the expansions, the game turns up. They have a bunch of like, you first of all, you can fly, which is awesome. Okay, if there's not a flying mount, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. But second of all, the story is very captivating because every single character has so much detail, so much backstory, and they add so much to what you're doing that you fall for all these characters. And then like they have like just the overarching story of it all. I'm trying to sound like I'm not like in a massive cult because I promise you it's not like as crazy I make it. But
No, by all
either way,
means, please.
well, when you get to the end of it, I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but like in the very beginning, you get the power from Heidelin, which is like this crystal thing, higher power. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, Heidelin, she's great," and she's basically like the quote unquote god. Well, as you get further down the story, now at this point where we're all at, we start questioning: Is this god a good person? Is it a bad person? Are we a good person? Are we a bad person? And when you do that in a game, in my opinion, that's where the sweet spot is. Where you just don't know. It's up for debate, but at the same time, they give you enough where you feel satisfied, but you're like, "Ooh, I want more." Final Fantasy 14, and you can also be a cat girl. So there you go.
Yeah, still don't think I'm gonna play it. I'm already getting yelled at in chat by saying, no, you don't have time.
Oh my gosh, that is true though. If you don't have time, it'll be a very slow grind
Oh
because you are a
god.
busy man though.
And I have a friend that plays like 3 MMOs at the same time. I don't know how the hell she does it.
I have a friend who plays several gotcha games, which are you know what a gotcha game
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
where
yeah.
you basically just level up. You could possibly spend money if you want to. They definitely do. Won't name any
Mm-hmm.
names, but he knows who he is. But he plays like 3 or 4 of those while also watching several seasons of anime at the same time, while also having a 9 to 5. And I'm like, when do you sleep? Some people are insane. They
Let me
just
guess, is
built
that
different.
King?
I mean, I won't name any names, but their
They say
name
that
rhymes
friend
with
is me.
Smeem Schmeus, like, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, that's just it. I'm not naming any names, but here we are.
Sure, sure. So, what you're saying is that they're just a very good multitasker.
If I were able to multitask like that, I'd be in a very different place in my life right now. So, more power to them.
Sure, sure, absolutely. So, you said there's a new expansion coming out for Final Fantasy soon?
Oh yeah, it just got pushed back 2 weeks, which is amazing because that means I get to play,
New
more
World.
games. I mean, I listen. I might come back to New World, but it's just a lot. I spent like 2 or 3 hours on one level, and all I did was smack rocks and chop trees and help old ladies across the creek. And I was like, "Do I get a level now? Do I get a gold star?" And they're like, "Not yet." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." And
It was your choice. You didn't have to chop trees for that long.
I got desperate. I needed EXP, man. It got bad. It got bad. So,
Yeah,
maybe I'll come back to New World, but I feel like New World is for the people who are literally about that life. And me, I was like half about that life, and I'm like, that's not gonna cut it. So here we are.
that's okay. I think it's probably good that you just kind of take a step back from it. I've sunk over 420 hours into it already.
And how long has the
So,
game been out?
a month this week.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we got the numbers down. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a lot of time. And most of that, obviously, not in queues. I'd say probably around 3 to 4 hours of those might have been queues.
Okay.
Just to kind of put that into perspective and to give you some more statistical data.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not particularly proud about that. But I feel like you sticking with Final Fantasy for the moment is probably a good idea because there's some issues that need to be worked out. But
And it's still a new game, so I'm sure.
yeah, I mean, when WoW started out, I mean, you even said Final Fantasy didn't start out that great.
it tanked. Yeah.
That's what happens with MMOs. And honestly, I give Amazon credit. I feel like they're communicating things very well. I think they've been transparent and they're working on stuff pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're just about that time for one of my favorite games, honestly, our only game at the moment. Something that you've watched, something that's been pretty popular here.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just was curious before we jumped into it, are you nervous about Save or Delete or?
No, I'm not really nervous about Save or Delete because here's the thing. I live my life as one massive hot take. Oh, I didn't think that went through.
We can edit this out. We can try. I'm not gonna edit it out.
Yeah, in post production we'll cover that one. But I
Nope.
do have a lot of hot takes that I do just like kind of like I'll sit on this hill.
Go
I
on.
had like a Disney tier list that people didn't agree with that I still get shit on for today.
Really?
But that happened like months ago.
Oh, we'll touch on that. Now I'm curious. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's so
We have time.
I just don't fully agree with everything that people think are popular, and I get a lot of shit for it, and it's okay. I have developed a self of sense where I'm like, you know what, this save or delete is going to be great because I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers, but this is just going to be me. This is going to be 100% unapologetically. This is where I'm at. Your last friend, they chose Chris over Yen. I'll do that all day. When I was talking to my friends, when we like that whole segment was like over, they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they picked Yen or Triss. I would pick Yen. Yen's obviously superior." And I'm like, "Nah, for real, Triss is the way to go." Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I got into a 2-hour long argument with Lua because I chose
forget
Triss
that.
over Yen, and she read me. Well, as a matter of fact, the book said this, and the lore says this, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. No, absolutely. No, listen,
You
Lua,
two are
make
both
lovely
stubborn
points.
about about The Witcher. You can't win.
I
No
mean,
way.
you can't win, but Triss is obviously the more superior thing. But again, I will live with that hate. It
Eh.
honestly fuels me at the end of the day. So I will sip my pumpkin spice gingerly while I sit here with that hate.
Honestly, I tried to play The Witcher 3
Hmm.
when we first started streaming here. I just couldn't get into it, and I love those kind of games. I really do. It was just maybe I just needed to give it another chance. When the remaster comes out.
I did the same thing you did.
Yep.
I played it. I played the first like 10, 15 hours of it, and I couldn't stomach it.
Same here.
I was like, what? I literally thought, what's the hype about this game?
Yep.
I came back to it a year and some change later, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give this a fair shake and at least do like the base game. I'm gonna stick it out because I want to see what this is all about. Well, I want to see what the hype is about. And if I genuinely hate it, I can say I hate it, but I finished it. And after you got about like another like 20 years, and it's a time sink. The very beginning is a time sink, but
Yep.
when it gets to the certain part where it's not referencing old games anymore and you're making your own story, that's when it gets good because I'm not like, yeah, I totally did that in Witcher 1 and 2. When I'm like, I didn't play those games. I don't know what happened. But then when now they're like, all right, cool. Do you want her or do you want her or do you want him? And I'm just like, ooh, spicy. I have options now. So then the game got pretty good. But yeah, it took some time to get into for sure.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot one of these days again. I've gotten crap from multiple people, including Lua, saying that I should be playing this game again.
Please pick Triss. Please, if you do.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
the way to go. It's the
I
only
don't
right
know.
answer.
I don't know. I've just from looking at from the outside, Yennefer's a little bit higher on my list. I'm not gonna rule it out.
Bro,
Not
listen,
gonna
you
rule
just
it
gotta look past the dump truck, bro. Listen, okay? I'm just saying, Triss is where it's at. She is clearly the superior person, and Yen is a douchebag, but she's a hot douchebag. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I'm cool. I'm fine.
Look past the dump truck. What?
Yeah, I mean, she's dummy thick, but you know, it's just game design. Anyway, what? Were we doing some game or something?
Yeah, we should just flip on over to Saber Delete.
Right, Saber. Yes, absolutely, we should.
I'll be right back. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay,
I blacked out.
I'm in tears right now. Oh, I had to get my face off that screen. Okay, my friend. So if you've never seen Saber Delete before, let me just fill you in on what Supermanthony is going to be doing. He's going to have 2 minutes to swipe left or right on a series of random video game characters that are being pulled from our database. And he's going to choose which characters he'd want to hang on to or kind of toss to the side. And we're going to break the stuff down. No pressure, whatsoever.
I got it. Feeling good. Yeah.
And we'll see. It's basically video game Tinder. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, nice.
That's exactly what it is. So, let's get this underway. You have any last minute questions, or you're set to go?
We're gonna figure it out. Trial by fire.
All right. Here we go. Best luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's see what kind of trouble he gets into now.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh geez, oh boy, I'm good on that. What are all these bad characters just doing on my screen? What the heck? Oh my gosh, Hanzo is so cool, but because he's cool, I'll say yes, but like he's also just bad. That looks like a portal gun. I'm gonna say no because that game is too high IQ for me. A witch. She did be super dirty, but at the same time, I'd screw my friends over by shooting it. Destiny was okay for what it was at the moment. It was just I don't know. He was. We'll stick with that. We'll say yes. Aloy. Oh yeah, she was a boss. There we go. And Triss. Oh, you already know what the answer is to this.
No.
Marry me, Triss. I'll come back for you.
That's.
Handsome Jack. Oh god, he annoyed me so bad. That's a no for me, dog. Lady Maria. See, I've watched a lot of this. I'll say yeah. They were pretty cool. Oh my gosh. This thing was just weird. I'm okay. Delete that. No. Okay. No. Yes, I'm a diva main. Let's go. Yeah, it's gonna be a yeah for me. So, let me see here. Actually, no, Jesus, I never actually played these games, but I know who he is. So we're gonna move forward. Anyway, No, we're good. We're good here. We're gonna keep moving here. The RB, my guy from Halo. Can't wait to see you for the next Halo Infinite coming out here. Hitman, I would say great game, great character. I'm just bad at it, so I don't really want to look at it because it brings up some trauma. Chun-Li, also with the dummy thick thighs. Let's go. She's a badass.
10 seconds.
All right, Batman, absolutely keeping it DC all day, every day. We're gonna say no on that, and then we're gonna. What do we got here?
Yes!
Who even is this?
I was hoping that was gonna pop up. It's only happened twice. That was my own personal edition. I'll explain that a little later on. So you got through a decent amount of them.
Okay, cool.
Keep in mind, this is totally random. There's hundreds of different characters that get pulled randomly into this, and Triss happens to pop up.
It was meant to be, honestly.
Apparently. Apparently. I wish there was an explode button just to see your reaction. I just blow up the character on the screen.
I would have just cried, I don't know if you want to see a grown man cry on stream, but, that's how you do it.
I mean, would have been good content. But, so... well, let's look at this. I mean, obviously, Batman is an obvious choice.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Aloy, very good. Triss, okay. If you didn't save Lady Maria, I would have just hit the stop streaming button. That would have been the end of the show.
Part of me felt that.
I could tell. I could hear in your voice, like, do we want to mess with Thunder tonight? But you chose not to.
Missed opportunity looking back at it. Okay.
So, have you played Mass Effect before? Obviously, you haven't.
No.
Which is why you moved Jack to deleted. Because Jack is a badass.
Yeah. I was gonna try Mass Effect, but like it just I don't know, just never got around to it. Wait, no, I lied. I beat Mass Effect because I played the collector's edition thing. I beat the first one, but it was like pulling teeth to get to the first one. And then I started the second one and I was like, no, I'm good.
The second game
I just
the
didn't
best
finish
of
it.
The three by far. And the three is
got like a
just
few
as good.
hours into it and just never got around to it. But there was that who was the really, really like hot chick who was like not a real person, but like was a real person.
Miranda.
And, yeah. Oh my God. I loved her. She was kind of a douche, but she was basically the Yen of Mass Effect. And I was like, man, I'm so into this.
Well, let's just say that Jack could have been Triss for you, but you won't know.
I might come back to it. We'll see. I don't know.
So Miranda is actually based on the actual actress Yvonne Strahovski. She's an actress. So, but yeah, you should. I understand one kind of being like pull teeth because it's granted the remaster was so much better. The controls are good now. But
I had nothing to compare it to, but I did hear that a lot though.
You need to finish 2 and you need to finish 3. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's the best game series of all time.
Oh, geez, it's a bold statement.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I would be willing to give Triss a proper shot if you finish Mass Effect. Like that's how convinced I am that you'd like the Mass Effect series. That's
enticing.
Yes.
And you know what? We'll have to talk about it later.
We will.
Actually.
We will.
Okay.
So, in regards to the character that came up at the end, that is from a game called Freaky Funky Fuzzballs that was on MS-DOS. One of the first games I ever played. It's got one of the coolest soundtracks ever made. It was a top-down puzzle game where you had to compete against one PC for keys in order to get through magic gates to get to the next puzzle, and you'd have to pick up magic wands. It was basically the platform below you's disappearing every time you run over it, and you had to lock out the computer. It's crazy. But nobody ever will know that character.
I was gonna say, am I the only one, or is that a common thing? Like...
It's only showed up one other time. That was I think 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
So you're the second one to see it.
I will be surprised if one day someone's like, "Oh my God, I love this character." I'm gonna be like, "What? What?
Nobody knows this game."
Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows this game. All right, so now here's the ultimate question. Obviously, this is kind of a rhetorical question.
Okay.
So we'll ask 2. 1, out of everybody who you saved, who you keeping? Wow, you already took too long. You really don't care about her, do you?
No, I do, but like I was like, okay, obviously I'm gonna choose Triss, but like at the same time, like what happens to Gotham if Batman's gone? Like rip Gotham because anyway. Yep. I mean, it's definitely Triss. So what was the second one?
Okay, let's say
do I get two?
let's say Triss is Let's pick. Obviously, I'm kind of guessing I know which one your second one's going to be, the witch. But but in all seriousness, Triss has been saved. She's by your side, and you get to
Okay.
take one more with you.
All right,
Who
I
you
lied
taking?
to you. I lied to you.
You lied to me.
I'm choosing Diva. I am choosing Diva, also known as Hana, who pilots the mech. Yeah.
So you're taking Triss and Diva.
Yeah.
So Gotham's screwed.
We'll come back for Gotham.
The three of you are gonna come back for Gotham.
Yeah. We'll build a mech for Gotham or something like that.
Like
We'll
that's
slap
the
a Batman
perfect
sticker
time
on
to
it.
transition over before it gets super awkward. Well, to the people of Gotham, you have my sincerest apologies for his selfishness.
They're close enough to Metropolis. Superman's got them. It's fine.
Wow. Putting problems that you've caused onto other people. What does that say?
But if I end up taking Diva from her universe, then like that's also a problem because like I can't take anyone from their universe, But like if we took Yen, the world would have been a better place. So like that just wasn't on the table though. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So obviously we're gonna have to have follow-up sessions to discuss this kind of traumatizing to discuss this traumatizing information.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the big things I really want to talk about with Supermanthony is he hosts his own show, and it's called Being Super podcast. He's put together as he's been doing since February 2020. And if you wouldn't mind, tell us about the show.
I have been slow uploading, to be frank, but I have been doing it for over a year. And honestly, it was at first I just wanted to do something to spread some version of positivity. I love talking, and I am currently in school. Well, right now I'm taking the semester off, but currently in school for my psychology degree because my end all be all, if like, before even like streaming and content creation was even on the table, I wanted to be a therapist. I wanted to do one-on-one things with clients and help people through like depression, anxiety, and just help people with like life basically. And that has felt like such a calling to me at even such a young age that like I felt like doing podcasting was something easy, something fun, and a way to just reach a bunch of different people and then just have a bunch of like topics where I just give different types of like motivation, like life advice, but like tangible, like actual life advice. So I'm not like, just be yourself. I'm like, yo, like be yourself, but like do you. It's gonna be tough, it's gonna suck, and you're not gonna know what that means in the beginning. But if you do X, Y, and Z, that'll help you get there. Instead of just giving you a fortune cookie, reading it, and be like, you got this. I trust you got the process. So yeah, that's basically Being Super in a nutshell. I then also lose focus at some point in the podcast, talk about God knows what, and then somehow we recircle back, and then that's it.
But you've talked about excuse me, you talked about confronting bullies, staying motivated, overall mental health. And I've listened to a few episodes, and it's fantastic stuff. So I definitely recommend you all checking it out. You have you've been like you said, you've been doing this since early 2020. You have dozens and dozens and dozens of episodes on there. And there's nothing repeats itself. It's just really good content. Every episode's unique, and I'm hopefully you keep up with it because it's really great stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I got some stuff in the works. I got some stuff in the works, and I want to like basically, I don't know. I'm gonna sound like I'm Mother Teresa, but I'm really not. Like I have my ups and downs, and I get angry. I was playing Apex Legends last night, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna find you and punch you in the face. Like we all have those days. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I just want to spread positivity. I want to be as positive, and I'm optimistic. Sometimes to a fault, I get that, but I like to call it practical optimism. And a lot of people will say, well, I'm just a realist. And I'm like, no, you're just being a dick. That's not like just pessimism is not just realism. You can have practical optimism. Like, yes, things can suck, but you can also make the best out of a bad situation. And that's being optimistic. It doesn't have to be like rainbows and gumdrops and everything's perfect. No, that's not real life. I get that. but that doesn't mean that we can't make the best out of it. So that's
Absolutely.
basically what I preach.
I think it's a good approach. And honestly, during a worldwide pandemic, your content is more relatable than ever before. So yeah, that's really, really good. I mean, that's we all have our tough times. So
Absolutely.
yeah, no, I really do hope you keep up with the show uh, and you have any other topics that you're thinking about talking with about coming up or
I mean, nothing too crazy. I'm trying to basically like my current projects that I'm working on right now are to just basically do what I'm doing with my podcast, but like do that on like other like socials to like really spread out more like reach and you know, sometimes not everyone likes podcasts. It's just not for everybody. So, I'm trying to like move around and kind of do stuff like that. Working on like I'm moving my positive stuff on like TikTok and on Instagram stories and reels and posts and stuff like that. So I don't know if I my philosophy too is if I can reach even just one person, I've done my job. So
well, I'm right
that's
here.
always kind of
So
nice. Yes, let's go.
yeah,
But I kind of want to ask you too,
sure.
like what exactly are some future projects for you though? What are you getting into moving forward here?
Oh gosh. Right now, honestly, I've been kind of for once solid time. I'm just kind of taking a step back because
Nice.
I'll be honest, I feel a bit overwhelmed. The show's been great, but sometimes you just got to take a step back, get your quote unquote house in order, and then push forward. But I
Mhm.
mean, New World's been a nice time sink, but I'm still waiting for those Star Wars Jedi games to come out.
Oh, yeah,
I
you're,
mean,
big into that.
yeah, I mean, so we'll see, we'll see. I mean, we were talking about TikTok quite a bit,
Mhm.
um, and you said that that's been a big focus of yours right now.
Yes, absolutely. And, it's funny because usually oh my gosh, people are so creative on TikTok. Like, I literally feel so inadequate sometimes because people are, like, coming out with these, like, skits or these dance routines or they're singing or building things, and I'm just like, "I tell really bad jokes sometimes." Like, that's the best I got, and I'm like, "Damn, I gotta compete with these guys? It's crazy." But I've been trying to like mess around with some of that stuff, and there's like a lip syncing thing people kind of do, and I hate studying. I hate trying to like memorize things, and it's been like super hard. But like once listen, the best I've done is like a 7-second lip sync because my brain after like that long just goes blank, and it's kind of fun actually. I'm kind of like trying to flex the creative juices and trying different things and going into different wheelhouses. And it's letting me know that I'm capable of more than I give myself credit for. So that's always been nice. You got to like always, on some level practice what you preach. So I'm always preaching, just give it a shot. It's gonna suck, but go for it. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do this now. Like I gotta show people that like I'm about this life. So yeah, it's been super nice. And even mentioning the whole practice what you preach thing, like I know that you're like, you were just saying it before, I need to take a step back, get my house in order. And I know for a fact that you tell your friends that, like, yo, you're overwhelmed, just chill out, take a step. So, like, when you're practicing what you preach, I feel like it's so much more impactful. And even just you saying that, I felt like maybe if one person hears that, like they just needed to hear that, and it's gonna probably help somebody else out. So
I like to think so. I
I'm
mean,
uh,
that's
I'm
why
very
we
happy.
get into content creation in the first place. I mean, this for one of many reasons, but you know, um, I like helping other people, but at
Hmm.
times it can be very overwhelming. It can be exhausting. You
Absolutely.
put other people before yourself all the time. You're gonna break down. This happens to me very often. You got to strike that balance.
Absolutely. And everyone's balance is different too. That's the crazy part, is like having generalized advice is, like, honestly the worst, but at the same time, you can't get into specifics because everybody's different. So, they're like, "Oh, you need to do this." I was just talking to someone earlier on, like, a stream yesterday, and they were talking about, societal norms, and that has been, in my opinion, one of the worst crutches to people in these times because like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm this age, I have to have this. I'm this age, I have to have this. I'm this age, I should have had this, but I don't have this. Now I'm a failure and I feel like a failure and I don't know what to do with myself." And my biggest thing from that is I'm like, "Yo, those societal norms were made so long ago. Like when those things were made, the people who made up those norms weren't on Instagram and TikTok being like, this is what you got to do today. You know, they didn't even have MySpace. Like, the times and the generations are so different that we need different norms for different times, and everyone's got their own race at the end of the day. So like norms in itself is kind of like toxic low key when you think about it. So either way, run your race, F that, and just, I don't know, enjoy your life and do it the best way that you can do it, that you know how, because you know you better than anybody else does.
Yep.
Oh, I'm getting preachy.
But you know
All
what?
right.
I'm glad you brought that up, because personally that hits home for me, because I'm getting older. You know, I look back at where my parents were when they were my age, granted different times, the 80s, you know, people got married much younger back then, you know, but my parents had met me when my dad was 30. Now I'm getting close to my mid 30s. You know, I basically am mid 30s. So it's that pressure of, am I behind from where I was? You know, and obviously, I don't know if you do this, but I talk out loud to myself. You know, I lecture myself about, you know, this is what you should do now. I'm a planner. You know, we've known each other for quite a while, but there's just, I feel like there's just so much pressure. But it's still not, it's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, I'm still young, but I feel like there's a lot of pressure to be in a certain place by a certain time, and everybody's different. So that's why part of the reason is taking a step back is just to kind of look at everything, saying it's like, your world's not ending. You know, you're going to meet somebody like at a certain time, or this is going to happen at a different time in your life, or might not happen at all. But there's just so much pressure on just the little things in life nowadays. It's just, sometimes it's just hard to get up in the morning. That's the honest truth.
That is actual facts. And you know, just taking the small wins, you know, like those are still wins. Like some people look at them like, oh no, it's not a big deal. Oh, that's a big deal. Like you did that shit. Like that's awesome. Now let's kind of like build off of it. And you know, sometimes I am, oh goodness gracious, man. This is like a lot of the reason why I love talking about this stuff. Cause like I love helping people, but I also just love seeing people win. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people just doing the best they can. So if I'm just like hanging out, whatever, just vibing, and I'm on like social media, and then they're like, we got a dog, or we did this, or I accomplished this. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Let's go. I get like super excited for like somebody else. I'm like, I'm here for it. And you know, like just hearing like your thought process, be like, you know what, I'll get here when I get here. And I'm just like, yes, you will. God damn it, yes, you. Let's go. And that gets me so excited. And to you know, kind of like words to transition off of that, there are a lot of people who don't feel that way.
Yep.
And I was just talking about this actually on TikTok. That some people love to see you doing well, but they never want to see you do better than them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that when I like heard that, it hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was just like, damn, everyone's like super helpful. Like, oh, let me help you with this. Let me figure this out for you. Oh my God. And then when you're doing pretty well for yourself, they go, oh, well, you got this because of this, or you got lucky, or no, 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 no. And I'm like, yo, where was this energy before when you were better than, you know, like and better and worse is like maybe a bad word to use, but like, you know what I'm talking
Sure.
about. So like, just kind of like making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are in a good mindset, you know, in a growth mindset sometimes, or just in a mindset where they're not trying to just tear you down. That's just a win in itself, you know? And I've been trying to like really practice that, and just kind of distancing myself, and not even just cold turkey and be like, oh my God, you're just a bad person. I can't be with you anymore because I heard a podcast once and like, this isn't going to work anymore. So like taking an actual step back, being like, all right, cool. I love you. You're still a great person, but I need to spend less time with you.
Yep.
That's what that means, you know, not just cutting it off cold turkey and then almost starting fights for no reason.
But at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong if it gets to that point of saying, you know what, for my own mental health, I need to just cut you out. That's it. And
No,
and
you're
as
right.
someone who basically lived their life of always trying to make other people happy, try to get everybody to like them and all that other stuff, it's not healthy. And you know, as someone who just tries to be the nice person all the time, I'm the one who gets hurt in the process. So
Mood.
sometimes you just got to say, I'm done with you. And yes, it's going to be hard for a while. Could take a year or so, depending on how long you've known this person. But from my own personal health, you're not worth my time. And you know what? I don't think I should feel bad about that.
No, not at all, and I don't think you should either. I just think that, when some people hear certain pieces of information, like what you just said, like, yeah, wipe your hands clean to that person. They're literally bringing you down. Leave that toxic relationship instead of just walking up to that person, or not even just kind of like doing what you have to do organically, being like, hey, I need some time away, or this isn't working out, or whatever. Just tell them how it is. They're gonna walk up to that person and be like, "You son of a did you know what you did to me?" Like people will take that and take it somewhere it doesn't need to go. So that's kind of where like grain of salt, depending on how you
Yeah,
hear that.
we've all been there
Um,
once or twice.
oh
So
no, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, freaking really vetting who's in your life and who's there for you and who's just trying to be happy for you, and just that's super important for like mindset growth and stuff like that. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
But you also talk about the small wins, and I think that's very important. There's a book that I've read a few times. I have a huge, well, not huge. I have a Stoic collection in the other room, and one of my
Right.
favorite books is Make Your Bed. I don't know if you've heard about it before.
I have not actually.
Admiral McCraven. It's literally, and I brought it up here so I can make sure it's a New York Times bestseller. And the title is actually Make Your Bed, Little Things That Can Change Your Life and Maybe the World. And it's just 10 things. And the first thing is actually talking about making your bed. And the whole premise behind it, it's a very simple thing. But when you get up in the morning and you made your bed, that's the first thing of the day. You did it. It's done. And that one thing can lead to another thing, and to another thing, and to another thing. And maybe one of the mods can get the link in chat. That would be very helpful. And even if you have a shitty day, it's a crappy, fucked up day. Doesn't matter. But when you come home, you're ready to go to bed. Your bed's made.
Hell
So
yeah.
after everything that's gone wrong in that day, you still get to come home to a made bed.
Hmm. And I
So
like that. I like that a lot, actually.
yeah. So the book's called Make Your Bed by Admiral McCraven. If anybody wants to check it out, I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll
those
pick
those
that up,
those little those little things add up.
And like to kind of like spin off of that too, it's like a lot of good things happen to people all the time, but we look over it because we're just kind of like, okay, cool. Like, and granted, you don't have to like get this small. Everyone, it doesn't work for everybody. Like some people are just kind of like built differently. So even the whole like, hey, just be happy that you have this one win. That's not going to translate for somebody else. Like
Sure.
my significant other right now, like I'm built where like if I'm having like a bad day and someone's like, hey, it's going to be okay. How we tried this. I respond to that. That's just I love that shit. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I don't want to like lay in this. I want to bounce back. That's where I'm at. But she needs time. If I come at her and I'm like, hey, it's gonna be fine. You got this. And she's just like, okay, so now I'm having a bad day, but I'm also gonna kill you now. So like there's that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do just need to like kind of like chill, kind of go into it and like get different versions of communication. And there's still small versions of even like happiness in those kind of mindsets, where like, okay, cool. It's a win that like I didn't stab that person. Yeah, okay, cool. Instead of just being like, oh God, the world sucks. And that person who yelled at me, you can be like, okay, cool. I didn't hit him with my car, which was definitely a plus. And then you can bring that back and be like, okay, well, I got everything I needed from the store. And then you go, okay, well, I did have gas. Okay, cool. I made my bed. It's like a different starting point to a
Right.
different ending point, and it just everyone has their own different things, and um, internalizing it. Because again, I was kind of mentioning before I went on that tangent about like some we take for granted the little things, and just like taking a step back and be like, you know what, I have it pretty okay right now, and that is powerful. That is very very powerful to having at least a okay to healthy mindset. Because if gosh, I could be here and just yapping your ear off all day.
That's
My
okay. That's why
God.
we're here.
But like my philosophy is whenever you are in a certain mindset, it will dictate your day. So if you stubbed your toe in the morning and you're just absolutely pissed, everything after that, no matter how great it's going to be, it's just going to be several points less great because you're in a bad mood. So let's like, oh, I hit the lottery, and you go, okay, that's great, I guess, whatever. Or if like you step in a puddle and you go, oh my God, everything happened so bad to me. What is this? It's just like no matter what happens, you had that bad start, you're in that bad mindset, everything's just going to be bad. But you start off that morning and you had a really good cup of coffee, or that person you like texts you back and you're like, yes, because I've been there too. I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm in a good place. And then everything after that, because you're already like, you started the day in that good mood, in that pretty good headspace. Everything after that is going to be not bad. Something good happened, you go, hell yeah, that was great. Something bad happens, it's a few points less negatively than it would have been had you been in that bad spot. So like, you're in a good headspace, you stub your toe, you go, oh my god, that sucks so bad, but at the same time, she hit me back. No, hey, So like, mindset is literally everything, and trying to keep yourself in a relatively decent one, I think, is a really, really key spot to having like pretty decent mental health. So like, acknowledging that you're in a bad spot and then trying to make it a little bit better is better than just laying in it completely and then just like thinking everything's gonna suck and then we die,
Perspective
So
is everything.
yeah,
The way
absolutely.
you react to something, the way you think about how something went, really helps make a crappy situation not so crappy too. So, and you make good points. You make very good points. And that's something I have to do better with. Sometimes I'm better with it than other times, but
We're human.
well, that's just it. That's the other thing you got to remind yourself of. But like you said, taking things for granted. I mean, I have a roof over my head. I don't mention that, but it's true. So when I have a crappy day, it's all right. At least I'm not outside under a box, But somebody might think, well, that's taking it to an extreme. But it's a good point.
No, that's a very good point. And the people who think that that's taking it too extreme, that just doesn't work for them. And that's
Right.
okay, because it does work for somebody else. So if it works for you and you're like, I have a roof over my head, and let's just say hypothetically, I'm the person that's like, wow, Thundy, you're just so dramatic. I don't understand. Like, it's just so extreme. But like me, I will come back home and they're like, hey, you have a roof over your head. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Put me out in the dumpster. I don't care. But like, I'll be here and I'm like, oh my God, I totally sit here and just look at my asana figure that I have, and I'm like,
Oh,
man, I am
God.
so fortunate that the girl of my dreams just sitting on my computer,
The
just
girl of your
watching over
dreams,
me.
really. It's amazing how your girlfriend's going to react to that.
She's never gonna watch this. I made a very terrible editing. Right, we're gonna edit this.
Oh
right?
no, that's the only thing that's going to make the show.
God.
That's it.
And that
entire
is how
show
we're going.
is just
Oh Jesus!
entire show is just going to be 10 seconds now.
Oh man! All right, and how to be single in less than 10 seconds, everybody.
That's a totally different show. That's my other
God.
podcast that I'm starting called You Just Screwed Up Your Relationship.
And I will be on the first episode. Let's go.
Oh, that's funny. I think all these are applicable points. And like you said, everybody's going to handle stuff differently, and things are going to work for some, which are not going to work for others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. I mean, this is why you should be listening to Supermanthony's show. This is just a little taste. This is just off the cuff.
It's off. That's I mean, honestly, like, I'm sitting here like fumbling over my words. They're all off the cuff. Like, that's the thing too, is my podcast, I try to keep them like very raw. Like, I just have 25 to 30 minutes of me just riffing off the top of my head, and it's just 100% raw. I'm not reading like some script. I'm like, this is who I am. I'm gonna mess up. I'm human. I'm gonna fumble over my words, but we're gonna keep it going because it's real. It's relatable. It's like
That's
as if
just
I
it.
were hanging out with someone, just having coffee, just talking to them.
Well, that's
Kinda
what this whole show is kind of about in the first place. You have all these things that are scripted. If I'm going to listen to somebody's show, I want it to be natural. We don't have anything planned. Sure, we have some, just from the back end of things to chat, or you're listening to us on Spotify. Sure, we have some topics that we might want to hit. Some things but there's nothing scripted. We just talk.
It's organic.
And
I like
that's organic's the key word. I feel like that makes shows more relatable, and that would keep me watching more, personally.
Same.
And like I said, an hour flies by.
Oh Jesus, where's the time going?
I told you.
Wow.
Actually, yesterday, Supermanthony and I, we spoke for an hour just hanging out. Sure, we set a bunch of stuff up, but we spoke an hour about other stuff,
It went quick.
Yeah. No, Anthony's a great guy. Please go check out his show. Obviously, hit him up on TikTok, YouTube, all the social medias that haven't been invented yet. Chances are he'll be on them. And
like anime, I'm on Twitch, just doing the anime stuff.
Yeah. And thanks for dressing up for the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just doing the best for you, buddy.
I'm waiting for the first person. There will be one person that's going to come up on the show in a suit and a tie. I never ask for it. But one time someone's going to do it, and they're going to be more dressed up than I am.
You know what? And then after that happens, and if I do come back on this show because you let me and you don't say, "Oh my god, that was a mistake," I'm coming on here with a top hat. So we'll
You
see where
should.
this goes.
Honestly, I feel like it's a testament to how well we've been doing. The fact that everybody we've had on the show, just like, please have me back on again. Like, they have a good time. So, I want it to be a relaxing experience, and, people get to see a different side of you. Somebody already mentioned in chat. It's nice to see another side to you when you're quote unquote not in character, but this is just who you are. So,
Right.
yeah, I really appreciate you being on the show, and I'm glad things are going well for you. Look forward
Thanks for
to
having
seeing
me.
your weeb ego grow. And
Absolutely.
I hope you just didn't ruin your relationship by saying that there's a figure that's more important than your girlfriend. But
All right. Well, she just texted me, so I hope she's not watching the stream. So anyway,
I messaged her.
yeah.
I told her that you should have just heard what he said.
Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, this is gonna be a great night tonight.
That's right. You're going out tonight with her.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, give her my best.
I definitely will.
Well, again, big shout out to Supermanthony if you can get a shout out for him. No, I really appreciate you being on the show. We'll definitely catch up soon.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thanks for everything, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right,
and I'll
take
see
care,
ya.
man.